What if I told you that your MBA resume could be the difference between getting an interview and getting rejected? And no, it's not because you need a fancy template. It's not because you need 10 years of experience. And it's definitely not because your resume needs to look like a graphic design project. The real problem? Most people write their MBA resume like they're applying for a normal job. And that's a mistake. MBA admissions committees aren't just asking, what did this person do? They're asking, what kind of leader is this person becoming? In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to make your MBA resume answer that question. And stay until the end, because I'll give you a simple formula you can use to transform weak resume bullets into powerful MBA application bullets. Welcome back to MBA Simplified, where we make MBA applications, business education, and career decisions easier to understand. Let's start with the biggest mistake. Your MBA resume is not just a list of your responsibilities. Think about it. Anyone can write, managed a team, worked with customers, prepared reports, handled marketing. But what does that actually tell the admissions committee? Almost nothing. Instead, your resume needs to communicate three things: what you did, how well you did it, and most importantly, what changed because of your work. That's your first major rule. Stop describing tasks. Start showing impact. For example, instead of saying, managed a team of 10 employees, you could say, led a 10-person team that improved customer response time by 30%. See the difference? The first sentence tells me what you were responsible for. The second tells me what you actually accomplished. And MBA programs love evidence of impact. Now, let's talk about the first section. Tip number 1, keep your MBA resume concise. One of the biggest mistakes applicants make is trying to tell their entire life story. Your resume doesn't need to be a biography. For many MBA applicants, a one-page resume is a strong default, especially when you're earlier in your career. The goal isn't to include everything you've ever done. The goal is to include the experiences that make your application stronger. Imagine you worked 3 different jobs during university. Do you need to describe every task from every position? Probably not. Instead, identify the experiences that demonstrate leadership, problem-solving, teamwork, analytical ability, career progression, and measurable results. Your resume should make the admissions committee think, this person gets things done, not, this person knows how to fill a page. Tip number 2, start with a strong professional profile. Your opening section should immediately establish who you are. But don't waste valuable space writing something generic like, hardworking professional seeking an MBA to advance my career. Almost everyone could write that. Instead, make your professional identity clear. For example, operations analyst with 5 years of experience improving supply chain efficiency across regional markets. That's much stronger. Why? Because I immediately know your role, your experience, and your area of expertise. But here's something important. Don't turn your summary into a paragraph. Keep it short. Your resume should create curiosity. Your essays can provide the deeper story. Think of the resume as the trailer. The essays are the movie. Tip number 3, quantify everything you can. This might be the most powerful resume improvement you can make. Numbers create credibility. Compare these 2 statements. Improve sales performance versus generated $450,000 in additional annual revenue. Which one gets your attention? Obviously, the second one. Numbers make your accomplishments easier to understand. So look for numbers everywhere. Revenue, costs, percentage improvements, team size, customers served, projects completed, time saved, budgets managed, markets entered, processes improved, employees trained, and even fundraising totals. If you can legitimately measure your impact, measure it, but don't invent numbers. That's extremely important. If you don't know the exact figure, use an accurate approximation only when appropriate and defensible. Your MBA resume should make you look impressive, not dishonest. Tip number 4, show leadership without waiting for a management title. Here's something many applicants misunderstand. You don't need to be a manager to demonstrate leadership. Leadership can look like taking ownership of a difficult project, training new employees, organizing a student organization, launching a new initiative, mentoring colleagues, leading volunteers, coordinating across departments, or convincing people to support an idea. Let's say you were an analyst. You don't have to say, participated in team meetings. Instead, perhaps you led cross-functional analysis that identified $200,000 in annual cost savings. Now you're showing leadership through action. That's much more powerful. And this is particularly important for MBA applications. Business schools aren't simply building technical specialists. They're building future managers, executives, entrepreneurs, consultants, and business leaders. Your resume should give them evidence that you're already developing those qualities. Tip number 5, show career progression. Admissions committees want to see growth. Maybe you started as an intern, then became an analyst, then a senior analyst, then a project lead. That's a story, and your resume should make that progression easy to see. But progression isn't only about job titles. Maybe your title stayed the same, but your responsibilities increased. Maybe you started managing small projects, then larger budgets, then bigger teams. That is progression too. So don't underestimate internal growth. Show it. Tip number 6, tailor your resume to the MBA program. This is where many applicants become lazy. They create one resume and send exactly the same version to every school. Don't do that. Your core experience can stay the same, but the way you emphasize it should reflect your goals. For example, if you're applying to a program with a strong entrepreneurship focus, highlight your startup experience, innovation, product launches, and initiative. If you're targeting a finance-focused career, emphasize analytical projects, financial modeling, investment experience, budgets, and measurable financial outcomes. If you're targeting consulting, emphasize problem-solving, client work, strategy, cross-functional projects, and measurable results. You're not changing the truth. You're changing the emphasis, and that's a huge difference. Tip number 7, don't underestimate your extracurriculars. Here's something interesting. Some applicants think their resume should contain nothing except their professional experience. Not necessarily. Meaningful extracurricular activities can help demonstrate leadership and personality. Maybe you founded a student organization. Maybe you organized a major event. Maybe you volunteered consistently. Maybe you coach a sports team. Maybe you helped build a community project. The key word is meaningful. Don't add random activities just to make the resume longer. Ask yourself, did I lead? Did I create something? Did I solve a problem? Did I influence others? Did I achieve a measurable result? If the answer is yes, it may deserve space. Tip number 8, use strong action verbs. Your resume should sound active. Instead of, was responsible for managing, use, led, built, developed, designed, negotiated, analyzed, generated, reduced, expanded, implemented, created, optimized. Why does this matter? Because weak language makes strong achievements sound ordinary. Compare, help with a marketing campaign versus developed a digital campaign that increased qualified leads by 42%. Same basic idea, completely different impact. Tip number 9, make your resume easy to scan. Imagine you're an admissions officer. You have hundreds of applications. You're moving quickly. You don't want to fight your way through a wall of text. So make your resume easy to scan. Use clear section headings, consistent formatting, enough white space, short bullet points, and logical organization. Avoid unnecessary graphics. Avoid complicated charts. Avoid excessive colors. And definitely avoid turning your MBA resume into a poster. Professional beats flashy. Every time. Tip number 10. Don't forget your education section. Your education section should be clear and relevant. Include your degree, university, graduation date where appropriate, and any academic achievements that strengthen your profile. If you have a strong GPA, academic honors, scholarships, or relevant certifications, consider including them when they add value. But remember, your resume should evolve with your career. If you have 10 years of professional experience, your college activities probably don't need half the page. Your recent professional achievements should dominate. Tip number 11, remove these common mistakes. Let's quickly go through some resume killers. Number 1. Typos. One careless spelling mistake can make you look careless. Number 2. Huge paragraphs. Nobody wants to read a novel disguised as a resume. Number 3. Unexplained gaps or confusing dates. Make your timeline easy to understand. Number 4. Generic achievements. Work hard. Help the team. Responsible for tasks. These don't tell us much. Number 5. Fake sophistication. Don't use complicated words just to sound intelligent. Clear writing is stronger. And number 6. Lying. Don't exaggerate your achievements. Don't invent leadership positions. Don't manufacture numbers. And don't claim skills you don't have. Your resume is only one part of your MBA application. If you're accepted based on information that isn't true, the consequences can be serious. The MBA resume formula. Now let's get to the formula I promised you. Here's a simple structure you can use for your bullet points. Action plus scale plus result. Start with what you did. Then show the size or scope. Then show the result. For example, led a 12-person team to redesign the customer onboarding process, reducing processing time by 35%. Action, led. Scale, 12-person team. Result, 35% reduction in processing time. Here's another. Instead of, worked on cost reduction. Try, analyze procurement expenses across 5 departments, identifying $300,000 in annual savings. Now your impact is obvious, and that's what you want. You want every bullet to answer the question, so what? What changed because you were there? If your bullet doesn't answer that question, rewrite it. The final checklist. Before you submit your MBA application, ask yourself, is my resume easy to scan? Does it clearly show my career progression? Have I quantified my biggest achievements? Have I demonstrated leadership? Have I shown initiative? Have I highlighted relevant extracurricular activities? Have I tailored the emphasis to my target program? Have I removed unnecessary information? Have I checked every date and spelling? And most importantly, does this resume make me look like someone who will create value in a business environment? Because that's what you're really trying to communicate. Not, I need an MBA, but here's what I've accomplished. Here's how I create value. Here's how I've grown. And here's why I'm ready for the next level. That's a completely different message. So before you spend hours searching for the perfect MBA resume template, focus on the story, focus on the impact, focus on the numbers, and focus on showing the admissions committee what makes you different. Because a beautiful resume might get noticed, but a clear, evidence-based, achievement-focused resume can make them want to know more about you. If this video helped you improve your MBA resume, subscribe to MBA Simplified. Remember, don't just list what you did. Show the impact you made. That's how you turn a resume from a list of jobs into a story of leadership. I'll see you in the next video.